4 apparatus that he competed on before this. Look at the flange press.
It's amazing.
Very well.
It's amazing to see how this event has evolved, even with a routine called the Connor that we've seen in the past.
That's right. Nice double back for a dismount. That wasn't the most difficult exercise, and it didn't have any originality in it. We've talked a lot about the importance of originality in a parallel bar exercise.
Not in a position to lead at this point, Laurent Barbieri, 25 years old, lives at the French Olympic Gymnastics Center near Toulouse in southwest France.
Here he straddles back to a flange, and then closes his legs as he presses to a handstand. Swings down for the tuck double back. A little hop on the landing, but good job.
Actually, his strongest events are the vault and the floor exercise. And he's not a great all-around gymnast, or the French really haven't been great all-around gymnasts in the past, but in the individual events, they've been quite strong, winning 7 medals in European, World, Olympic Championships since 1983, a 9-6 now for Barbieri.
So with that performance, Barbieri has moved into a tie, actually, for 3rd place. As we take a look now at the current men's standings, Ginsberg still ahead of Tekonki, but by only 1/10 of a point. Continues to be a great battle there. The women's standings, Phillips in 1st place, ahead of Stoyanova, and Baraksanova has moved into 3rd place. The question, where is defending champion Mary Lou Retton? We'll be back to tell you more about that after this message and a word from your local stations. Welcome back. John Tesh with Bart Connor at the 1986 American Cup Gymnastics Championships. When the day began, all the talk was about Tim Daggett, the Olympic gold medalist. But he had to pull out with an ankle injury, and now all the pressure is on this 19-year-old sophomore from UCLA. Not even expected, really, to make it to the final, but now Brian Ginsberg is in 1st place with one last piece of apparatus remaining, the very dangerous and challenging high bar.
You know, Brian has a lead by about 1/10 of a point. It's interesting to see that he's got to hang on to it right here.
Brian Ginsberg, perhaps the least known of our American team, competing today for the American Cup title, of course. We asked him earlier what this opportunity meant to him.
This is one of the biggest competitions in the United States this year, and it really feels good to compete, because World Championships I didn't get to compete. I was alternate, and it was hard to sit back and watch the United States compete and knowing I couldn't do anything. So this feels really good, competing.
And here he is. He said when he first showed up, he was dazzled by the Soviet and Chinese. That's what he told us. He needs a 9.95 to clinch the title. There's an interesting graphic.
And he's also in an interesting situation that he's the first guy out. If he can do a great exercise here, he knows he has a lead by 1/10 of a point. He can sit back and watch everybody else try and catch him.
Ginsberg, one last routine that could give him the championship.
It's a nice stem pirouette. There he goes into the one arm with a full twist, and he pirouettes back over the top. Here's a one arm to a Ginger. Okay, he's a little bit close on that, but he kept the exercise moving. Good speed on the front giants. There's a throw with a full. Nice release with go, go. He has to keep the exercise moving. Okay, a little stall on that cast, but good stallers. Now watch this dismount. Oh!
Whoa.
Now that was a full twisting double back in a straddle position, and he looked like he just didn't have enough rotation on that.
I gotta say, there goes the 9.95.
Boy, this is going to be close, because he has opened the door for some of the other greats to come up and try and catch him.
Ginsberg with his coach, Yefim Furman, who defected. He's from the Soviet Union. He defected 6 years ago after the 1980 games. He's the assistant coach at UCLA.
We're holding for the score.
Okay, here's the replay of that front with a full. Let's see, let's go to the front flip with a full twist and catches it. There was a little bit of a form break, but that's a very unusual trick. Now let's see what happens on the dismount here. It's a full twisting double in a straddle position. I say it looks like a flying Thomas Flair. He just ran out of rotation there and could not get his feet underneath him. That's got to cost him right there.
Close between himself and Wang, the Chinese, and the Soviet. Back here at the 1986 American Cup Gymnastics competition, I'm John Tesh along with Bart Conner and Peter Corman, and it could not get any closer in the men's and the women's competition. Now, for the men, they have one last apparatus on which to compete. This is Alexei Tikhonki from the Soviet Union. He has stood in second place until this point. Brian Ginsberg, the American, just competed. We'll wait for Alexei Tikhonki's routine. And the high bar, we've seen Bart Conner has precipitated some of the most dangerous routines in the past year or so.
Oh, and Alexei is unbelievable on this event. Yesterday in the preliminary round, he was hot, and he just blasted through his routine with no problem. He's the kind of guy who could score a 9.85, the 9.9, or the 10 because he has that level of exercise. But let's face it, this is the finals, and he's got to do it right now if he's going to do it.
Lives in a Siberian town of 500,000 people in the area of Lake Baikal, the deepest lake in the world. His name means the silent one.
Back uprise. Free hip hop change. Now look at that, a full pirouette into eagle giant swings. Okay, now here comes the releases. Okay, there's a reverse hecht. Perfect. Okay, he does another one. Right to a Ginger. He is right on. Those are the toughest release moves. And he did them all in a row. There it is, 1, 2, 3, triple back, and he nails it. Whoa. That was unbelievable. What a great finish to a very tough exercise. And talking about nailing a landing, that's how you do it.
Alexei Tikhonki. He broke his foot in 1983 on the floor exercise. Has come back strong since then, been a member of the Soviet national gymnastics team since 1981.
Notice the beautiful position here as he leaves the bar. 1, 2, 3, pulls that around, spots the landing, and he's still way up there. Enough perfect time to plant his feet and stick that landing.
Here's a replay of the reaction of Brian Ginsberg. And a little applause there, but I think afraid to show any emotion. There it is. 9.90. And the Soviet has taken the American Cup. Brian Ginsberg, he led throughout this competition. But the women's title is still all up in the air. Christy Phillips still stands in first place. Brian Ginsberg in second at this moment. And here now on the floor exercise, Mariana Tudor.
Here's her opening run. Full twisting double back. She nailed it. This type of exercise is traditional for the Romanians, a kind of cutesy routine that Nadia Comaneci made famous. We're back through the double back and a short on the landing. That's going to be 5/10 of a point, but that was a tough run to attempt.
Mariana Tudor, fourth, entering this, her final performance here on the floor exercise. Still to come, of course, the American Christy Phillips.
Okay, she's catching her breath for her last tumbling run. On a back handspring double back. Okay, a little bit short, but she didn't touch out.
She's all of 16 years old. Been competing in gymnastics, as I mentioned earlier, for 5 years and 4 months. And her coach, Tatiana